Hi, I'm Jonas Rapp. Welcome to this 9-part tutorial on using Git Submodules in Visual Studio. The plugin I'm using in this example doesn't do much fun, but it initializes the tracing service, context, service factory, and the organization service to retrieve the full name of the current user and write it to the trace log. To simplify the code in my plugin, I wanted to inherit a plugin base class that I have exposed in a public repository as a shared project. Copy the URL of the repository. This will be used when you add it as a submodule. It's not possible to add a submodule from within Visual Studio, so I will open the command prompt for my solution directory. Then I add the Git Submodule add and paste the URL to the repository I want to add as a submodule. And the plugin base class repository has now been downloaded to my solution directory. The Git command that I executed created a Git modules file in the solution root folder. This file contains a name, path, and URL of the repository that's added as a submodule. Checking the changes in the project, it shows the Git modules file that was added and the actual submodule. Now I'm ready to add the shared project from the submodule to my solution. I'll create a submodules folder in my solution so I can easily distinguish between projects included through submodules and projects actually in this solution. So in this folder, I will add an existing project and find the shared project from the submodules repository. And I can now see all the code that's been made available to me through the submodule shared project. I will now commit and push the changes in my solution, which is the Git modules file that was added, the solution file that has now included the plugin base shared project, and the actual submodule Jonas plugin base. If I look in the remote repository, I can see that the Jonas plugin base submodule has been added. You can see that the icon is a bit different. It indicates that this is a submodule, and if I click the link, I actually get into the repository of the Jonas plugin base. Now, to start consuming the goodies of the Jonas plugin base, I add a reference to my project to the shared project Jonas plugin base. Now I can inherit the Jonas plugin base class instead of implementing the iPlugin interface. I implement my new execute method where I don't have to worry about instantiating tracing service, context, and service, and so on. And finally, I can remove my old bloated code and make sure that the project still builds. Looking at the diff after the change, I can enjoy much nicer code to commit. Now I want to improve my shared submodule project by adding the canary tracer, a little gist that I have published. This gist has an extension to the tracing service, making it really easy to trace everything from the plugin context to the trace log. So I copy all the contents of this gist to be able to paste into a new class in my project. I create a new class for the canary tracer and paste all the contents from the gist. So from my own plugin code, I will navigate to the Jonas plugin base class and insert a call to the canary tracer. So I've changed a couple of files in the Jonas plugin base project, but checking the pending changes, there's only one file showing there, which is the submodule. So this is really important. We need to switch to the actual solution that we're changing, the repository for the submodule. So we switch to that and we can commit the changes from there instead. Now we can also see the small icons indicating added and changed files. Heading over to the pending changes, we can now push all updated files to the plugin base repository. When I switch back from the submodule solution to my solution that I'm working on, I can see that I still have the canary tracer, the things that are updated in the submodule. So I've committed all the changes to the submodule repository, but in my repository here, I still have a pending change. This is because the Jonas plugin base submodule that's referenced is not of the same version as what's currently on disk. A common mistake I've made is that I update the submodule from the pending changes. This just causes the submodule to be updated to the version that's currently referenced. So let's see what that looks like. The files have now been changed, and if I look in the project, the changes made to the Jonas plugin base are reverted to the version it had when the submodule was added to my project. We're now in a situation when the code we have in the submodule repository is not in sync with the latest version from the remote for that repository. This can be fixed by opening a command prompt, shifting to the submodule folder, and do a git checkout master to get the latest version. Visual Studio now detects that files on disk have been changed, and reloading all the files, we see that we now have the very latest version of the Jonas plugin base repository. So once again, we see that we have a pending update to the Jonas plugin base submodule in my project. What I should do is, of course, enter a commit message there and commit and push this update. And this makes sure that my project is now referencing the latest version of the submodule. Now, looking at my Jonas plugin base repository, you can see that the latest commit has changed from E54 something to 177 something. And switching to the cooler app solution that consumes this Jonas plugin base as a submodule, we can see the same change in the reference ID of the submodule there. Looking into the latest commit, we see that one file was changed only, and this is of course the reference to which commit of the Jonas plugin base submodule we're using. We can also see all the individual file changes that were made in the submodule repository and will be part of the change to the reference in my project. I'm Jonas Rapp. I want to thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you learned something. I sure learned a lot making it. See you soon.